Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. 1 second, y'all. Okay. Let me do this real quick.
Is that where y'all going after the car wash?
Shinigami said 3 ads. What the fuck? If you got 3 ads, that's crazy. 3 ads is ridiculous. All right, let me see real quick. Gotta make sure these headphones are connected here. You know, I gotta play something first. Let's go back a little bit.
Yeah, the fuel is expensive right now.
Could you use up to $800?
Okay, cool. There we
Find
go.
it at BioLife.
Still about the shake for the days I want.
Illusionary said no ads club. My boy said not today. All right.
Up to $800 is waiting for you.
Adds Naruto and Sasuke to react.
Okay, real quick, guys. How is the volume doing? How are you guys doing this wonderful Sunday? What's going on? Oh, let me get a bottle of water first. We got Illusionary, Majin, Shinigami, and Kuribo in the building. What's good, y'all? How y'all doing? Hello, Ab-Stract. Hello, Majin. How are you? Chilling. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Hey, yo, my girlfriend going back to her home. Good for her. Home is a good place to be. Going to eat a snack, pineapple, and drink coffee, do the dishes, then draw. That's what's up. I want my flying cars. What does that even mean, bro? Oh, and Ab-Stract, if you're going to read my analysis of Itachi. Oh, my God. Yo, bro. So, Shinigami, remember, bro. Remember, if you're going to send me something, bro, you got to shorten it. I'm going to read that thing, but I just saw like 15 messages, bro. I'm like, ugh, that's going to take a while. You got to send me things in like digestible small spurts. When I get when I get multiple paragraphs, I feel overwhelmed. I feel like I gotta compartmentalize everything and then like respond to each part individually. And then it's not only you, but then there's like, you know, other people sending me stuff as well that I'd be like, okay, cool, I gotta set out time for this. Luna Ursa sent me something, I want to say the stream previous to the last one, and I still haven't reviewed that thing because I'm just like, all right, I gotta, like, you know what I mean? We gotta start making our things shorter. Shorter. I'm going to get to it, but it will be, yeah. I got 3 ads too. How did we get 3 ads? The stream just started. That doesn't make any sense. That's so weird. Thank you, Kuribo. I always be forgetting. I forgot my glasses last time. Gotta protect from that blue light stuff. Thank you, Kuribo. 1 second, y'all.
Yeah, you just got back too, so.
All right.
Even at work.
Okay. We got Max in the chat. How you doing, Max?
Readjust to being back in America.
He feels more like a better version of Ayano Koji, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I don't personally feel satisfied with Itachi compared to either Aizen, Light, Johan, Akiyama, Shinichi, Patrick, Jane, and more. I don't know. I only know a few of those guys. I mean, I got a Pepsi ad now, and I'm craving for it. That's crazy. Do not succumb to the ad manipulation, social engineering. Don't do it. Why do we have 3 ads instead of flying cars? Well, that will be hard in place of the long analysis, but I will see how that can be done. Thank you. I appreciate that. Just so I happen to have lots to say. I got you. Hey, we got Tom Foolery in the chat. What's good, Brody? Hey, man, what's up? Missed the yesterday stream, so what's happening? Hey, we good. We about to get into this Noodles versus Pretty Boy Swag on Itachi versus Pain. We covered about 30 minutes yesterday, and that took around 2 hours. So hopefully we can go, if not to the same length, a little bit longer. But yeah, I don't want to hold up anyone. Y'all came here for this. Let's get started. Like the stream, share the video. We live. And Jogo versus Toshido might be interesting. Jogo? Jogo who? Jogo from what?
Liberia prices.
Bro, I'm getting 2 ads midstream. How? Oh, okay. Yeah, so the midstream ads I did turn on. Now, you shouldn't be getting 3 back to back, but I did turn on midstream ads because yeah, it's okay. Hold on. Yeah, Jogo versus Toshido is actually crazy. I don't know about that. That's kind of wild. But all right, let's get to it. They was talking about scaling of the Rasenshuriken so far.
To Sakura. She was completely focused on them. So
Volcano Head from JJK, I guess. Oh, no. Don't get me wrong. I had an inkling of who he was talking about, but I know Kuribo isn't that disrespectful, so I just want to make sure it's not like a Jogo from a different verse, or a Jogo that's much more powerful, because Jogo versus Toshido shouldn't even be a question. Jogo would have to first beat someone like Hanataro. He would have to first beat someone like Momo. He would have to first beat someone like Ikaku. What are we doing? Toshido stomps extremely easily. Jogo from JJK is what exactly he meant. Shikamaru is the only good, intelligent character writing-wise in Naruto. All right, let's get to it.
because there's greater threats there, her focus is on them. Like, you ever play Call of Duty? I know this is really really.
Of course I play Call of Duty.
Do you know the Sixth Sense perk?
Yeah.
So you know how, like, it'll show you on the mini map a general idea of what direction they're coming from, right?
Yes.
So that in a way is a Sixth Sense, just like Sage Mode. But if you don't look at your mini map and you don't focus on that Sixth Sense, right? If you don't focus on what direction, it won't help you. You can still get caught off guard.
I think you're making a lot of assumptions here, dog, to like just hand wave
That's
the
just how
fact that
focus
Naruto
works.
was clearly blitzed here. Like, Naruto didn't even know he got up, and he was able to, like, granted, I will admit that when he did this, he was like locked in, but he sensed the entire battlefield at once. And here he's like fighting the paths of pain, so you would think that he would be able to sense
He sensed the
them,
battlefield
right?
before he even started fighting, though.
Wait, what do you mean?
So
Wait, like here?
Yeah,
Or-
like when you're talking about, like, when he's like, oh, I don't sense Kakashi's chakra, Tsunade. That's what the statement you're referencing.
Yeah, so Pain got up so fast that he wasn't even able to tell, and then he ran in front of the Rasenshuriken and
That's
blitzed
not what I'm
Naruto.
talking about. That's not what I'm talking about. We're talking about when he sensed the entire.
No, I know what you're
before the
talking.
Okay, real quick, because this is actually almost where we left off at. So I'll stop it here real quick. I'll answer these last few questions, and then we're locking in again, okay? So Kuribo was actually talking about JoJo from JJK. Kuribo, that's just disrespectful. To be honest, James Bond versus Otsutsuki would be a good fight. Shinigami, that's about just as disrespectful. Kuribo says Toshido is weak to heat. Toshido is weak to heat. Kuribo, are we saying that he's weak to heat, or do you mean to say that his ability can be encumbered with with like a lot of heat or a majority of the atmosphere being heated? Like what are you trying to, like, weak to heat? Like it's his weakness? Like he'll take more damage from heat versus something else? Like, is that what you're saying, bro? Because that's not the case. He's not weak to heat. He's not weak to heat. Hey, Ab-Stract, quick question for you. What attack do you think is stronger overall, Seto or Bijuu Bomb? So, of course, I have to preference by saying it depends who's doing the Seto. Any individual Seto from any individual Oran card could be weaker than a Bijuu Bomb. But if we're just talking about the upper brass of the Espada, I would have to say the Seto has stronger scaling. It has higher scaling. The thing with the Bijuu Bombs is we can only calc them based off of how much they destroy and their joule per centimeter cube based on how much they destroyed, to what degree they destroyed it, and the size of the entire attack, right? The issue, though, is if we want to actually get any good scaling for it, someone has to survive the attack. Someone has to take the attack and survive it, and to the point where they don't get one shot by the attack or obliterated or completely destroyed by the attack. This just doesn't happen in Naruto. So the only things, like I said, that we can go off of is the actual showing of defeat. Right? So whatever total energy you would get from any individual Bijuu Bomb, and then you just get the joules per centimeter cube for that, that's where it would kind of stop, right? We can't get it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying the One Tails Bijuu Bomb is as strong as the Nine Tails Bijuu Bomb, right? I'm saying that there isn't anything that necessarily points to it being stronger. You could argue scaling, but we would have no idea by how much it would be stronger. We would be going off of the we would be going off of the necessary minimums of the calcs. I hope all this is making sense. As opposed in Bleach, when we're talking about Setos and Getsugas and their energy-based attacks, we know that characters, for example, right? The opposite end of this spectrum for the Bijuu Bombs is actually the Seto, if you want to think about it, because the Seto don't actually have as much on-panel destruction feats. They don't have as much destruction feats. But what they do have is extremely better and higher scaling, because we know other characters can take certain amounts of damage in attacks. But we know the Setos aren't one-shotting them. Oh, I'm sorry. No, we know the Setos are at least hurting them. And sometimes in the case, they are one-shotting them. For example, when Shunsui gets shot in the back by Stark, he's not killed, but he is taken down pretty much out of fight. When Ichigo takes a Seto from Ulquiorra, and he, half his Shuhakusho is gone, he's burned, he's scarred, we know that is stronger than attacks that had higher DC or higher overall calcs destruction wise. So the Bijuu Bombs are outbeating Setos in calcs, right? Sure. But as far as chain scaling and actual power, the Setos would just be higher. Bijuu Bomb is calculated at large country continental. So yes, Majin, the way we do things over here is we employ triple AP scaling, right? As accurate and as consistent as possible. One of the tenets of employing triple AP scaling is not taking total energy as AP. What does that mean? You know what? Actually, Majin, it would really help if you went back and watched my video on AP versus DC. And in fact, I did another one. How long ago was that one, though? I did another one on AP versus DC as well, where I really broke it down with Eterard Leonis. In fact, you can even watch Kakashi versus Toshido to get a good understanding of what I'm talking about there. What you're talking about, Majin, for this Seto, for the Bijuu Bomb being, would you say multi-continental? Wait, where was it? You said Bijuu Bomb is calculated at large country. Okay, large country to continental level, right? So yeah, you would be talking about the total energy of that attack, right? But if we take that entire attack, right? Let's even just take the ones that's where all the Bijuu shot. Like, oh wow, they destroyed a mountain. Oh wow, the Ten Tails destroyed a far off city. Let me ask you this question. In those explosions, you have a human being. A human being isn't the entire volume of that attack, which would necessarily mean that the human being or the person that is enveloped in that attack is only taking fractions and fractions of the entire attack, right? They're not taking the total energy of that attack. They would be taking fractions upon fractions upon fractions of that attack, because if the attack is truly as big and is eclipsing a mountain, that means it's eclipsing a person over 10 times easily by volume, right? Take the volume of a person, you take the entire blast, they're not getting hit with that entire blast. So that's where we would actually delineate the AP from the total energy and the DC, right? So if the total energy comes out to continental, that energy spread across the entire volume would likely be probably somewhere around. It's hard to tell because I haven't did the Bijuu bombs in a while. I'd have to like go reference something. But yeah, that would all be the total energy. Whereas the Setos are affecting people who can already take attacks that are town level above, multi-city block level above, city level and above. They're already affecting people that can take these attacks. So when a Seto hurts someone, we know that the AP is actually stronger because they're actually taking damage. Huh? No, that's fine. I always suck that. That's good. Mm-hmm. In a moment in time. Hold up. Let me see. Illusion says Jogo would melt the final ice pedal and have to deal with adult Shishido making him a frostsicle. Facts. Otsutsuki would die to a Gillian, to be honest, by feats. A Gillian, I wouldn't say that. Seto's natural fire that killed Ishiki. Yes, that's true. That's true. I could solo Otsutsuki with a year of marine training. That's disrespectful. Kuribo says Bijuu bomb Seto. No surprise there. Going by Triple AP, Bijuu bombs are basically nuke bombs, whereas Setos are concentrated laser beams. Yeah, that's a somewhat fair analysis. I would give that. We got Grid in the building. What's good, Grid? How are you? I think your analysis is great, Shinigami. Nice. Bijuu bombs Seto going by every metric, not the scaling metric. Kuribo, definitely not the scaling metric. I don't know where you would be getting the scaling metric. They're higher. Yeah, Ichigo previously tanked Grimmjow's Ground Race Seto, which is like star level feats actually. So I definitely wouldn't say it's star level. All I can say is that it scales an unknown amount above other things. I can't even confidently scale the Ground Race Seto just because number one, it was huge. Number one. Number two, Ichigo kind of just brushed it off while he was in mask form. All I can say is that it would probably be stronger. It would be several times stronger than the last thing that we've seen that was impressive with it. I would definitely wouldn't say star level though. Star level is not a necessary minimum. We would not default to star level just because it said it in the light novel. Not doing that. Let's focus on objectivity. Seto's Bijuu bombs. Grand Race Seto, any Bijuu bomb. Yes. See, but like again, these things would be coming from scaling. I have no problem yielding calcs to the Bijuu bombs because they've shown more destructive feats on panel. It's just when we get to the actual scaling of, well, okay, X character can survive town level attacks. Bijuu bombs per cubic centimeter aren't giving out town levels of force, so that would mean the Setos are stronger. That would mean the Setos are stronger because, as I explained, the volume of the attack is so damn great that yes, it's destroying everything, but it takes every bit of the attack to do it. So it's not really that impressive when you look at it. Kuribo, how can you say that when somebody scales beyond the Bijuu bomb in total joules and AP? And there you go. See, I'd be giving Kuribo these not be giving him, but like when we be talking on Twitter, I'm like, Karibo, you got to come more prepared. You already know what I'm coming with. You already know I have at least some scaling and calcs to default to, right? When we have these conversations, you can't just say Bijuu Bomb Seto and then not giving any actual reason why. You actually got to come with something tangible. You got to come with something that will be impactful to the conversation. You just saying Bijuu Bomb Setos without qualifying it doesn't work for me. It doesn't move anybody here, bro. It does not move anybody here. Give me 6 months of marine training and I can solo the Narutoverse. That's crazy. A powerful Seto can also distort space itself, so it's more powerful than the Bijuu Bomb. Now, again, I have no problem with you saying that because I've already qualified the scaling. I wouldn't qualify it being stronger than the Bijuu Bomb based on that, right? But the fact that it is helps, but I wouldn't like if we didn't know anything about either attack, I wouldn't say just because this attack bent space or distorted space that it was stronger. It could just be a side effect of the attack, right? We are going to continue the video. Majestic Hero. That's a fire name. What's good? Bro, we haven't seen a Bijuu Bomb kill anyone besides humans. Meanwhile, just as Seto was able to melt in a spot from existence. Also, Life Miles of Grimjow versus Luby. Majestic is completely right, and this is what I'm talking about, right? For example, no. Take the Minato one-shot. Do y'all remember in the Minato one-shot, Minato, Jiraiya, and someone was about to get hit by a Seto Blast, and they were like all shitting their pants because they thought they would have died by that attack? Right, so that would tell us that they can't take the joules per centimeter cubed of the Bijuu Bomb. They can't even take that, let alone like, of course the total, but they can't even take the joules per centimeter cubed. Like they had a flying Raijin get out of there. So no, no. Ab-Stract, let me tell you, when Grimjow fired the ground Seto, he actually ruptured space, which would require large planet to star level energy, as something like black holes can't do. That they only wrap/distort it. So, like applying that level of IRL science to fiction, I wouldn't do it in a one-to-one thing because like we're dealing with things outside of the realm at which we are disposed to, right, or shown to. We have no, like, Reiatsu does not exist. Setos do not really exist. We have no idea the actual effect it's having within their verse and how that would actually translate to our verse. I just wouldn't go that route. If you want, I can send a calc to you on Twitter. If you want to, you can. It's just like, I don't know. I wouldn't take it as a necessary truth to say, oh, it necessitates planet to stars level of energy to do this. I wouldn't take that under AAAP scaling. I think it's more reasonable to apply the spatial distortion to more supernatural properties, there you go, of the ground Seto rather than power, especially considering stronger Setos don't distort space. There you go. For example, Ulquiorda's Seto Oscuras didn't distort space, but we know it would, for a fact, calc and scale above Grimjow's Grand Seto. Like Grimjow's Grand Seto, which can't harm Ichigo, distort space, but Resurrections. There you go. See, this is why Grid. And first off, where's Rev? Rev has been missing. I gotta hit him up. Well, yeah, but no, Grid is completely correct. You forget about the actual mass of the Bijuu Bomb in the direct comparison to the Rasengan. Scaling often ignored mass, which was a major issue with his scaling. Oh, Zalius' scaling often ignored mass. All right, Karibo. When you're saying it ignored mass, what part of it are you talking about? Are you talking about like the weight of the chakra, and then how important is the weight of the chakra versus the explosion? Because, for example, when Four Tails eats his Four Tails or Six Tails, when he eats his Bijuu Bomb, and he drops in the ground like fragments, and then he shoots it. What is the weight or the mass of it have to do with the actual explosion of it? Because that's what we would be judging, the explosion of it. All right, let's get back to the video though.
About, but I'm saying so Naruto demonstrated these.
Is the volume good? Is the volume good?
And then,
but yeah, he wasn't focused on fighting yet. Like, of course he's not going to be focused on fighting the path he thought he already killed. He's going to be focused on Tendo trying to hit him. So it easily could catch him off guard, and there's no proof that he was focusing on him. So Sage Mode doesn't give you like omniscience. It just doesn't.
I never said that it gives you omniscience, but the fact that so first of all, again, Naruto is in Sage Mode here, and Sage Mode does give you a sensory boost. Naruto is focused on fighting pain, which consists of 6 bodies.
Hold up, y'all. Hey, friend, you're loud. Who are you talking to? Yeah, I see you're being rude and disrespectful, right? Crazy. Oh my god, ads again. Ab-Stract, turn it off. Hey, my fault, bro. We'll let it run, but I'll try and fix that. I don't know why there's so many ads.
Did not notice at all that Prada got up.
Well,
And
that's,
then
that's true.
Prada
He was focused on Tendo,
and
though.
then Prada ran in front of an attack that should be as fast as or faster than him and absorbed it from off panel when he was not in sight at all before that. That is a blitz.
Well,
you cannot tell me a character that did that is as fast as Konohamaru.
I don't think it's a blitz at all. I think he just got caught by
That's
surprise.
cap,
I'm serious, bro. I'm
That's
serious.
cap.
Hold on. I'm gonna send you a scan and you tell me if this is a blitz.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
So we'll go into like who blitzes who more consistently next. I think is relevant. So hold on real quick. So this is like in the beginning of the fight when Naruto is like on top of Gamabunta, and they're about to fight. Basically, this is right before the encounter. Hold on real quick.
We've helped thousands of veterans get jobs in tech making 10K or more a month without spending 4 years in college.
That's not where my scans are.
Yeah, that's a blitz.
You agree it's a blitz already? You already know the scene I'm talking about, don't you?
Yeah. Naruto
Yeah,
blitzes.
I'll
the
go
Zero
ahead and post it just for.
So
yeah,
he's coming out at max, bro. He has max.
I
This
know.
is Naruto at like 150%, bro. He's like mental amp. He just got all his Sage energy shit because he's sitting there trying to protect Tsunade. This is the
Mentally
dude
amped.
that killed
You better
Jiraiya.
quit.
Yeah.
You better chill, bro. You better chill.
Nah, I'm gonna argue that this is a mental amp,
No.
bro. This is Naruto fresh.
If
got
he's
that
mentally
shonen
amped,
protagonist
alright,
amp.
listen, I won't argue about whether or not he is
He
mentally
got
amped, but,
swag
but I will
amped,
say
bro.
this. I will say this. If he's mentally amped here, he's mentally amped the whole fight. Because the reason you would argue he's mentally amped is because he's protecting his people, and he does.
No,
that
not
this entire
necessarily.
fight.
He's protecting Tsunade specifically here, and he's trying to demonstrate how powerful
He's
he
protecting
is.
the whole village
Right.
even after this, though. He knows that.
He's also got the most nature energy throughout the fight here, right? So he might have
refreshes
he
his-
might have
refreshes
so
his nature energy every time he gets.
yeah,
to
but
the
what
bottom.
I'm saying is he might have thought he had more to it. You would agree that it's possible that he might have thought he had more to spare here than he did perhaps later on once he started running out of it, and might have used the nature energy to amp his strength and speed a little bit more than maybe he does later.
I'm gonna disagree with you because I don't think he runs.
You
out
don't
of
think it's
chakra.
even No, I'm not saying that he did it 100% necessarily, but you would agree that it's possible that he did, right?
I mean, anything is possible, but I'm not gonna argue that. That's
You would agree that it's not an outrageous
I would say it's
claim to
improbable.
make. You would agree that it's
What
not
do
an
you-
outrageous
It depends on what
claim
you
to
mean
make.
by outrageous, but hold on, before we get into that, what I'm gonna say is he didn't even use his last Sage clone. He didn't. So it's like
No, he did.
I don't
He
think
did.
at any.
He did when he fought against Tendo at the very end. He used his last Sage clone.
No, because it stated that when he went into the Nine Tails mode, it dispelled his last clone.
Can you show that?
Yeah.
I could be capping there, but
Yeah, you
I'm
are, but it's
pretty
okay, it's
sure
okay.
He used it.
I
Oh
don't
no,
worry,
he
I got
came out of the Chibaku Tensei and Sage mode. Go
Yeah,
ahead and
he
send
was-
the
he was-
scan
yeah,
just
you
to
know-
make
you know it.
sure for me, but yeah, he might have
Yeah,
come
yeah,
out
yeah.
of Chibaku Tensei in Sage mode.
He definitely
I
comes out of
remember.
Chibaku Tensei and Sage.
Real quick. I forgot to do this before the debate, but let me make sure my audio is okay for everybody. Hopefully it is, because that would be really trash if it wasn't. Yo, chat, real quick, could you tell me if the audio's okay?
Pain is just not as fast as, or Konohamaru is just not as fast as Pain.
You guys can hear me? Can you hear Swag okay?
Yeah.
It's good? All
Can
right.
y'all hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah. I was just double checking. I got just a little paranoid.
What's good,
I
Pack?
was
No,
like,
we
man, I
haven't
really
been
hope
on
this
long.
doesn't-
Maybe like
Hold on, real
10, 11 minutes so far.
Back to my one app, my Facecam app. All right. Let's go, chat! Let's go! Get them donos flowing! I'll read them after the fucking debate. Hold on, real quick. Where am I looking? Let me just look at that.
Someone said in chat that paint is not a mask. Like that's the real truth.
No, it's not a mask, bro. You can see my beard is painted, bro. Look. You guys see my beard?
No, I think they're saying like that's the real you, bro. You're really
Oh, yeah.
on
this
that
is-
Arthur Fleck shit.
Yeah, this is the man behind the mask, buddy. All right, here it is. I found it. show this for chat.
Planning is starting to pick up for my dad's helping.
He says, "Ugh, when I went into the nine-tail state and it agitated my chakra, I lost my last shadow doppelganger."
Yeah.
So I don't think he ever ran out of chakra like the entire fight. Like, I
Oh
think he had
wait,
chakra
no,
throughout
but
the whole fight.
he lost the Sage clone before like the very end, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, he was still summoning like hundreds of clones even at the very end. Like, I
No,
mean,
the reason he was
didn't
able
seem
to
weakened.
no, the reason he was summoning hundreds of clones was because he couldn't summon, he couldn't use shadow clones in this fight and keep his Sage clones up. That is.
I know,
stated.
but that shows that he's not like shadow clones require a ton of chakra. So I mean, he still has chakra left. It's not like he's
No, he
still
got his
using Rasengans.
chakra back from Minato. Minato like gave him some.
Did he?
Yeah.
Well, that just proves that he didn't run out of chakra even at the end.
No, but what I'm saying is Naruto's at like full tilt when he blitzes the Asura path.
I think it's just an assumption to say he gets weaker throughout the rest of the fight. Like, you're just basing that on nothing. So it's like, why would we even say that? Like,
Well,
he
it's
doesn't.
not
He doesn't
based
show.
on
It's
nothing.
not,
It's based off the fact that he gets blitzed.
when people get weakened, you would agree that they show physical signs of fatigue, right?
Yeah, like getting blitzed by
Naruto
like,
never
a
showed
path
one.
of a guy. He blitzes Asura, and then Preta blitzes him. So he's fatigued.
Preta reacts to the Rasenshuriken. And real quick, I'm going to explain clearly why Jutsu do not inherently scale to the user.
That's a
including the
different argument.
Rasenshuriken.
That's a different argument.
Well, this is
Wait, hold up. Hold up. So, Noodles agrees to the idea that Jutsu don't inherently scale to the user. That's interesting. I've been debating I'm talking to, right? Because I don't really, yeah. I've been talking to like maybe 3 people at once arguing this whole Jutsu scales to the user thing. And it's very refreshing to hear someone also be against that point. So, we got Yonin in the building. What's good, Yonin? How you doing, Brody? What's up? Toshido versus Jogo would be an interesting fight, and it is confirmed Toshido struggles fighting fire/heat-based opponents on his own. Do you mean like when he doesn't have his full power? Like that's a funny thing to say, because what we have to do is judge each fire user based on their own capabilities, and Baz B clearly scales above Shikai Toshido, but we see Bankai Toshido is able to freeze Gerard's arm, and Gerard has to use his other arm to free himself. So I think you're judging a weakened Toshido and just saying, oh, any fire user with his fucking salts would be able to compete with him. Jogo would get one shot and Toshido wouldn't even have to use Shikai. I don't know why you think that would be an interesting fight, Karibo.
relevant to the Rasenshuriken because
Sure,
it is a
go for
jutsu.
it.
Okay, so like for instance, the truth-seeking orbs, right? When Sage Minato fought Jubidara, Ten Tails Madara, he fought him in Sage mode, and he got blitzed and torn apart, got his arm chopped off, got beat the hell up, and kicked away. But then in base, even in base, he's able to teleport and react to the truth-seeking orbs. So that just proves the truth-seeking orbs aren't as fast as Madara. So could it not be the case that the Rasenshuriken in a similar line of logic is not as fast as Naruto?
Well, first of all,
I'd have to go to the exact panel he's pulling up. Let me hear that again.
Got his arm chopped off, got beat the hell up, and kicked away. But then in base, even in never
a
showed
path
one.
of a guy he blitzes Asura, and then Preta blitzes him. So he's fatigued.
Preta reacts to the Rasenshuriken. And real quick, I'm going to explain clearly why Jutsu do not inherently scale to the user.
That's a
including the
different argument.
Rasenshuriken.
That's
Okay, so, and when he even says Jutsu don't inherently scale to the user, he's just so far talking about speed. I don't know if he's talking about AP or durability or anything like that, but...
a different argument.
Well, this is relevant to the Rasenshuriken.
You okay?
It is a
Sure, go for
jutsu.
it.
Okay, so like for instance, the truth-seeking orbs, right? When Sage Minato fought Jubidara, Ten Tails Madara, he fought him in Sage mode, and he got blitzed and torn apart, got his arm chopped off, got beat the hell up, and kicked away. But then
All right, so, and I had this conversation with someone too. He said when Sage Minato fought Jubidara, he got blitzed. Now, I don't know, and it's people should really preference how they're defining these terms and stuff like that. Are we to say that anytime someone gets hit with something that they got blitzed? Is that how it works? Is it a combat blitz? Like, what are we talking about? Here's the thing. Jubidara never mounted an attack on Minato. I'm sorry, like from point A to point B, he never mounted an attack. He never did anything as far as movement speed wise that Minato couldn't react to. What did happen was Minato teleported to him, and Madara was able to react faster. Are we to say that as a blitz though? I don't really see that those things as blitzes, or else we'd have to say any interaction where someone gets hit, they got blitzed. And I don't think like that. That just doesn't really make too much sense to me.
Even in base, he's able to teleport and react to the truth-seeking orbs. So that just proves the truth-seeking orbs aren't as fast as Madara. So could it not be the case that the Rasenshuriken, in a similar line of logic, is not as fast as Naruto?
Well, first of all, that's not necessarily true, but even if I grant that, the reason why it doesn't make any sense for the Rasenshuriken to be slower, there are a couple reasons actually. First of all, Naruto's physically throwing it, so this is his physical strength. Second off, why would he throw it if he could just run with it?
Well, like I said, people use jutsu that are slower than them if they think they'll hit. Like they don't
Right,
have to
but
be
you
that...
can't. You can't just like melee attack with a fireball. No, you can't.
I know that. I'm gonna explain it. Like it would put Naruto in more harm's way to get up close and try and hit him with the Rasenshuriken. Because at the end of the day, everyone, like Pain even says this during the fight, the Rasenshuriken is his win con. Like that's his big move that everyone sees, has a ton of chakra generating in it. Pain, it's going to be really obvious if Naruto just tries to run up to him. But if he throws it, then he can do other shit in the meantime like he did with the Shadow
But he doesn't do
Claws.
other shit in the meantime.
He does, after it gets absorbed, he does.
After it gets absorbed, yes. He doesn't do other shit in the meantime.
Think about it.
It's being thrown because it's as fast as he is.
Think about it, right? Tendo was on the ground. The other path had to jump in to save Tendo because it was about to kill Tendo, right?
Yes, because Tendo was out of chakra.
So, from Naruto's perspective, because he's not focusing on the other path of pain that he thought he already killed, he knew the Rasenshuriken was going to hit Tendo. So, it's not an issue of Naruto, the Rasenshuriken scaling to Naruto. It's just an issue that Naruto was not focusing on the other path of pain. Because had that other path of pain still been dead, Tendo would have died. So it's the case that there is no proof the Rasenshuriken scales to Naruto. You are making an assumption.
No, it's not that there's no proof, because there's just no reason for him not to. If Tendo
it
has
would have
no
worked.
ability,
There was a reason.
No. If Tendo has no, like, okay,
you said
just
yourself it would have worked.
No. Let me finish.
Okay.
Today I'm going to make a beat. We're going to Output's new plugin, co-producer. Play your beat.
You just said yourself, right? I'm going to quote your argument back to you that Pain is on the ground. Naruto has no reason to believe he can dodge it or hit him. Naruto thinks that the only other path up right now is Naraka, which is a non-combat path. Which means he has no reason to believe it's risky for him to run up and punch Pain or Tendo in the face with a Rasenshuriken.
He has no reason not to blow him up from range either.
If it was so much faster for him to do that the Rasenshuriken scales below fucking like Konohamaru, then Naruto would have just run up to him and done it.
I still think that like him throwing it, for one, he has no reason to believe that the throw wouldn't work either. For two,
if it's slower than Konohamaru, he would believe that he shouldn't do it.
Yeah, what I'm gonna say is, he would also get caught in that blast. I know you said earlier there was a reason why. Yeah, he could. He very well could.
He
if he runs up and slams it,
it
might get him. Yeah, he did. Didn't he?
He did not.
He was fine.
His arm was fucked up.
Yeah, but it explains in the Databook that that's not a risk anymore.
Why is that not a risk anymore? Is it
because he
right?
perfected his body. Okay, so read the second paragraph on the right page.
Let me read it. I didn't know you posted it. My bad.
Yeah, so it's the sentence before too. Its power is so strong at a short distance that even Naruto, its user, sustains damage. It's its lethal weakness, but he overcomes it by mastering the Sage Mode and obtaining a tough body, which means that he can throw it. Yeah, it's a mistranslation there, but it's supposed to say.
Let's get it translated then. We have a translator in here, right?
Sure.
Yeah. If someone could find the raw for that, that would be appreciated. Because if it's mistranslated,
but if it does say tough body, you would agree then that is not a risk, and Naruto has no reason not to run up to Pain.
I suppose, but he also has no reason not to throw it at him. He thinks
if it's that much slower, then yeah, he does.
Do we need to get the raw? Get the translators up?
Yes, please. If you want, I can have like my buddy Nate get the raw. He's good.
No, I got the raw. I got the raw.
Grid says, I agree with Swag here. There would be no reason to ever use projectiles unless you restrained the opponent if it was massively slower. Yeah, no, I agree with this point too. Naruto throwing it, he threw it because he thought it would work, right? If it was the case that he was exponentially faster than his own attack, then he would just run up and hit him. But no, he throws it because he thinks it would work. So yeah, no, definitely a good point for that.
Okay, appreciate you. Get that little. Here, I'll show you I'll snip tool the part you need to.
02 and okay, they're ready. So I'm just gonna send them the raw. Hold on.
Okay. I'll snip tool the part. If you guys want to look at the part we need translated, it's those paragraphs over there.
Here, I'm gonna put the raw in the scans chat, Noodles, so you can put it on the screen. Here it is. Check scans chat. And 02 and whatchamacall, Forte. Y'all can tell us. Here's the translation that Swag was using. There's the raw. What they're trying to figure out is if that second part there actually says that Naruto has a tough body, because the other person who translated this said it had a throw body.
A throw body. Yeah.
Throwing is generally faster than running.
Hey,
yep.
Nice.
I do agree with that.
I'll respond to all donations at the end, boys. I'm sorry that I can't reply to them right now. Someone just sent me a. Oh my gosh.
Someone said, "Why is
$200?
Surfbone not here?" Oh, he's here.
He's here. Surfbone.
He's just listening.
Yeah. I forgot he's in the arena. He can't talk. You guys like my hat? You guys like my hat?
I should stop looking at chat because I don't want to accidentally get arguments. My bad.
Sir
I don't think they're even talking about arguments.
I invited you up, Sir Bone, if you want to say hey to the chat or something.
Man, I be looking at chat all the time for arguments. What are you talking about?
Y'all hear him? His mic's
What's up,
Because
sir?
what's right is right.
Hey, hold on. Are Forte and 02 there?
Being weird.
All right, so they're trying to figure out this interpretation thing. Let's skip ahead a little bit.
So I just have a question for you too.
So I
So
made
wait.
this question actually.
So you think if Naruto chucked this shit at Konohamaru would just jump over it?
Fair
There's
question.
less pads up right now.
Okay. Forte
But- no, but
says
okay.
he's working on it.
I don't necessarily think that, because if there's less pads up, they could have more chakra. So that, yeah, you could potentially jump over it. Or he potentially could just get hit by it, is what I meant to say.
I think Konohamaru gets his shit fucking obliterated.
Probably. Probably, yeah.
I
Probably.
think he gets turbo blitzed.
Especially if
by
it's
this
Naruto
Rasenshuriken.
doing his normal shit where he's like distracting them and stuff. Yeah, I think the Rasenshuriken would work on Konohamaru. But
Noodles thinks that Naruto must distract Konohamaru for Konohamaru to get hit with the Rasenshuriken. Nasty work.
that's, again, like, this is not all 6 up.
So
this is
what I would
yeah.
say to that is that you said yourself that Nagato can redistribute the chakra, so it's possible that Nagato was putting more chakra into the combat paths like Tendo, Animal, and stuff. And
I think they're all combat
Naraka was
paths.
just no.
Except maybe Naraka, but
Naraka is the
are.
one that was fighting Konohamaru. And Human's not combat either. Human is reconnaissance. It's the one that sucks up the soul. And
it's just an
gets
assumption to say
information.
he's not giving them all equal chakra. So, like,
Yeah, but it's also an assumption to say he's giving them all equal chakra.
I know, but we did the point that I'm making is that because
So it's unquantifiable.
yeah, but that doesn't help you. Like, the point I'm making is that
Yeah, it does, because the Preda
You
pack
didn't let me
glitched the
finish.
Rasenshuriken.
Swag.
Okay, yeah,
You
go
didn't let
for
me
it.
finish. I'm gonna finish.
Yeah,
now.
yeah, my bad.
Anyway, what are you doing back there, Giovanni? Oh, he's gotta pee. He'll be back. What I was gonna say was the point I'm making is that these pads are potentially more amped than the Naraka is. So even if it's unquantifiably amped, it doesn't change the argument I'm making. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
No, what
So,
I'm saying
one second,
is that the pads of pain.
One second, Swag. Forte said that the tough body was a fair translation.
What's it say? What's the kanji?
I mean, the whole thing was he got hurt by throwing the thing in the first place. So that would intimate to us that he's not strong enough to handle the power, the residual power, not even the attack itself, but the residual power of him just throwing it. So him having a stronger body in Sage Mode, Why are you here? Yeah, get out of here.
I'm just eating.
Him having a stronger body in Sage mode would make the most sense, right? This is a weird point to argue, honestly. This whole not Shikamaru, Konohamaru thing is weird in general. Chain of Scarlet 905, what's up? How you doing?
Strong body.
Let's go!
All right, so it says
Let's fucking go! So yeah, Naruto can just run up, plow that bitch with the Rasenshuriken, and he will not take recoil damage. It's not like takedown anymore, right? Like from Pokemon. Like he just goes, whoop, boom, makes the nuclear bomb.
Yeah, Ursa, I caught that too. He did say they weren't amped before because, well, the whole thing, his initial thing was all the paths are the same speed. And this is what he was using because Konohamaru was able to dodge the kick of one. And then that, the last live, that's where we're like, well, okay, cool. If Konohamaru can dodge the kick of one, does that mean Konohamaru is as fast as Kakashi? Because Kakashi dodged the kick of Tendo. So what are we doing with that? Yeah, so he's kind of going back and forth, but it's really up to Swag to kind of catch these inconsistencies.
Sound.
Okay.
And Naruto is just like fine after.
It's still the
there
case.
is no reason for him to throw it if it is substantially slower than he is.
him throwing it, he thinks it'll work when he throws it. So there is a reason.
This game, you're not ready for it.
Well, no, but what I'm saying is, why would he give up that much control of it? Because you would also agree that he has more ability to control it if he's carrying it than after he throws it, where he can't control it.
I think.
But also,
I think it could be the case that, for one, you agree that like travel speed isn't equivalent to combat speed, right?
It's combat speed here, though.
Well, I'm talking about like
running with the
hand-to-hand taijutsu, reaction speed, things like that, right?
Because so what happens here is
I can
that
give examples in real life and in fiction.
Naraka revives Preta, and then Preta runs in front of it, all before Naruto can even tell that like it's happened. Like Naruto gets like blitz, bro.
I don't think it's a blitz because there's multiple things that suggest it's not a blitz. Like firstly,
Well, then I would say that
firstly,
Naruto didn't blitz Asura because like the Asura path was not focusing on Naruto.
We got to
going
stay on the
after
previous
Tsunade.
point before we get into that.
But you brought it up to support this point
earlier, but we've moved on from that and we're on this point now.
Let's keep it on one point. Just
Yeah,
so that
yeah,
relationship
that's
is
fine.
messy.
Yeah, real quick.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, the point that we're talking about right now is whether or not the Rasenshuriken feat is a blitz. So we've already established that the Rasenshuriken doesn't inherently scale to Naruto. The thing we're arguing about is
that's not true.
That's what I've established. What you've established is that you think the reason it does scale is because Naruto has no reason. This is your words. Naruto has no reason to not run up and hit him. Right?
I guess I should rephrase if that's okay. If you're
Go
cool with
ahead.
that.
I'll let you rephrase.
So I think that the potential positives or upside of throwing it in this situation does not outweigh the downside of it being tremendously slower than him.
Possibly, but also Naruto is not exactly the best battle technician. He says he's
come on, bro!
It's not.
No way.
There's no way that you can prove Naruto was thinking that in that moment.
Our well, first of all, no, that's just not true. There are so many examples of Naruto coming up with crazy, like Tobirama. Compliments Naruto on his ability to figure shit out on the fly, like when he figures out that chakra link bullshit in order to teleport everyone. But you also said that Naruto was able to outsmart genius strategist Kakazu in the previous debate.
Yeah, he caught him off guard. That's not a battle intelligence thing. That's catching.
That is a battle intelligence thing.
Noodles is wild, bro. Noodles is wild. That's funny though. All right, let me read some of these because y'all going crazy. Majin says, damn, another Scarlet? Damn. Grid says, Noodles is putting way too much stock into Konohamaru dodging a single kick from, I think it was Naraka. Yeah, so that's crazy to me. That's absolutely crazy to me, bro. Yeah. Dodging a single kick means all the paths are not only the same speed, but that Konohamaru can actually potentially dodge the Rasenshuriken. That's what he tried to do, bro. That's hilarious. You can just call me Chains to avoid confusion. Got you. This is why people need to understand the breadth of AP speed, and overall threat lethality in a verse. Not every attack is equally effective or as dangerous as the next, even similar attacks. I agree, especially when we know the pain bodies can vary on power based on Nagato's whim. Why would Nagato ever waste power on putting maximum output into a pain body facing a genin? I somewhat agree with that, only because it's like my whole thing, it could have been a genin, it could have been a chunin, could have been a jonin, it really just depends, but no, I get what you're saying. Pain as separate entities. The speed of each pain is fully dependent on who Nagato is focusing on more. There you go. Konohamaru dodging one kick doesn't have to mean anything at all due to his combat ratios function. I agree. Konohamaru can be dodging an attack that was meant to be at 30% efficiency overall and shit like that. That's true too. If it is the case that pain is supporting each path with either more or less chakra, that pain could have been kicking at 10% of its chakra capacity. We really don't know. All that matters is that it's established that the pains do vary in stats. That's the only thing that really matters. Like, it's easier to believe Naraka sandbagged a bit so as not to kill the kid he wants to get intel from. That's very true too. If he intended on what's the word? It literally just in my mind. If he intended on capturing and interrogating Konohamaru, yes, the objective would have been not to kick at full force in order not to kill him. Very good argument. Then it is to derive any scaling from Konohamaru. Yeah, exactly. Tell me, Ab-Stract, if throwing is faster than running, doesn't it improve swag? Oh no, it absolutely proves swag. I agree with swag on this point. If it is like the whole he doesn't scale to the Rasenshuriken thing, I believe that for whole different reasons. Noodles is saying he's slower than it or whatever like that. He's slower than it. But yeah, I agree with swag here. He Rasenshuriken thrown is definitely faster. Yo, Ab-Stract, I just sent you grammar calc I was talking about on your Twitter. Gotcha, bro. Check that out. Konohamaru actually hurting pain is still one of the funniest things ever. Crazy work.
No. That's just him being unpredictable. Like, what I mean by battle intelligence is, I mean, he might not be considering the speed thing. And he also, this is why I think he's not considering, like, the potential risk of the Rasenshuriken. He doesn't think any of the other paths are up. Like, he doesn't. He thinks that Tendo is the last one left, and maybe Naraka. He's maybe thinking he's up. And like you said, maybe the Naraka, is slower. I don't necessarily agree with that. But either way, the one, from your perspective, the main path that he has to kill is Tendo. And he knows this. Katsuyu already told him that Tendo is the real threat, right? So if Naruto does not think that there's any other path, like that one path that he killed earlier, that can jump in the way and stop him, from your, like, even your perspective of the argument, he has no reason not to throw the Rasenshuriken at him. He just doesn't. You would have to prove that he is considering running up to him because of the downside of the Rasenshuriken speed. And that is a complete assumption. You don't have evidence for that. So you need to actually provide some evidence for it.
The Rasenshuriken doesn't scale to his speed. I don't have to prove that. I just have to prove that it's
reasonable. You do
reasonable.
have to prove that.
No, I have to prove that there's, like, a reason for him to, like, okay, I have to prove that there's a reason for that not to necessarily be the case. And I've established that Naruto, like, fuck, hold on.
Oh, wait, you didn't prove it. Let me explain why you didn't.
Yeah. No, real quick. Let me back up for a second.
Okay.
So you said that Naruto might not be considering the speed thing. I'm just going to say this requires Naruto to be really stupid. If the Rasenshuriken is that much slower than he is, that it's like, well, okay, no, wait. You backed off on the Konohamaru thing, so I guess I won't compare it to Konohamaru. But if the Rasenshuriken is that much slower than him, that, like, the Preta-path, who should be slower than Sage Naruto, can just jump in from being, like, downed and absorb it. Naruto,
we don't really know where he's at.
Naruto absolutely would have identified that. Because in the Kakazu fight, he takes one look at Kakazu's attack speed and recognizes that Kakazu is, like, fast enough that he's going to need to send clones in to create a diversion.
So Naruto in this situation thinks he is fast enough to tag Pain. You said it yourself that if Naruto thinks
hold on.
You said it yourself.
No, I didn't.
No, you did. You did. What you said was, you said that Tendo is on the ground and he would have got hit. You said you admitted
No, I did.
yourself.
I did not agree
Yes,
to
you
that.
did.
I did not.
Yes,
No, I
you
did
did.
not agree to that.
You
I
said
did not
that,
agree
and
to
the
that.
only reason he didn't. So
No,
you think
no,
Tendo
no.
can,
I quoted
you
what
think Tendo
you
can just
said
get
back
up
to
and
you.
absorb
No,
it?
I quoted
You
what
think
you
Tendo
said
can just
back
get up
to you.
and you think Tendo can just get up and push it away then,
He
or
could
jump
jump
away?
over it. Yeah, he could jump over
Why
it.
didn't he then? Why did he feel the need to put the other one there?
So he could get the chakra.
Get the chopper. So this is all just an assumption on your aspect. And you're
No,
changing your
I don't.
position from
I'm not
earlier.
assuming anything. I'm just saying that's a potential reason why Tendo could do it.
I
But
understand
I never
that.
said that Tendo can't.
Okay, you did say that. You did verbatim.
No,
say
no,
that.
no, no. I quoted what you said back to
He's
you.
like,
I
get the
based
chakra.
on what
question,
you
which
just
the question
said.
was, can Tendo stop this? Naruto thinks that he's gonna hit Tendo on the ground. Yeah.
Imagine being able to build anything just by thinking about it. Meet base 44.
What I said.
I'm
in
asking you a new
response to this-
question. Regardless, you can look back in the recording. We don't have to argue about it. It's on recording, so you can just look back if you want to show that part. But anyway, the point I'm asking you now is Naruto thinks he can hit Pain on the ground. Yeah, that's why he's throwing the Rasenshuriken.
Yes.
Sure. I
Okay,
guess
so
Naruto
let's quote it
maybe
here then.
thinks he can.
Let's quote it then. You state right here and now that that Naruto thinks that he can hit Pain by throwing the Rasenshuriken. And now you also agree.
How does that support your argument?
I'm about to explain. So the reason that supports my argument is because the other path of Pain, he doesn't even know is alive. So there's no reason for it to take him into consideration, and he thinks that if he throws it, he'll hit Pain and obliterate him. So that is the decision he made to do. Now, whether or not
Can I respond to that? Can I respond to that?
Hold on, real quick.
What
Let
you
me finish
just
real
said?
quick.
No,
I
no,
got
no,
one
can
more
respond
sentence.
to
I
what
got
you
one
just
more
said?
sentence.
No, 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 but I don't want.
Hold up. I'm not understanding why Swag is getting out his body. All those things are true. Naruto threw it because he thought by throwing it that he would beat or hit that Pain. He didn't take into consideration the other path of Pains. I gotta hear the logic train.
I don't want to
Well,
have.
this is just finishing my thought. It's not even going to add anything new, really.
Swag. This is just fine.
Yeah.
He's just
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
finishing
Well,
his sentence.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, all I'm going to say is one more sentence. So if Naruto thinks that he's going to hit Pain, right, and he thinks it's going to work, and he's not considering the other paths of Pains, he has every reason to throw it, and he's just not making the most optimal decision here. So,
But why couldn't he assume that it's going to hit Pain because
In Noodles' head is the most optimal decision to just run up and hit him with it. I'm so damn. Now I'm lost in the sauce of this goddamn debate. At least this
moves
part.
as fast as he does? Like, why is that not a
Restate
reason?
that?
Why can't he be assuming it's going to hit Pain because it's as fast as him? Like, I don't understand.
Why can't he be assuming it hit Pain because it's as fast as him?
Yeah.
All he sees in this position is that Pain is in a disadvantageous position laying on the ground. He's not probably even thinking about speed here.
Why not?
Because he's just thinking that because Pain's on the ground in a disadvantageous position, it's going to work.
Yeah, but that's an assumption that he's not thinking about speed at all.
Well, it's an assumption to say he is, too. So it's like a non-argument.
Like, here's the thing. We've already seen Naruto throw a Rasenshuriken, and some of them dodged while one got hit. He's definitely thinking about speed, right? Because now he's in a position where he's on the ground, and he can't get up to jump as fast as he would before if he was standing up. To say he's not thinking about speed or factoring in what his opponent can do and how fast they can do it is kind of dumb and disingenuous. I don't know how we got here, though.
Right, but I'm asking why he wouldn't be.
Why would he be? You have the positive claim here. It's your burden to prove.
Why would Naruto
speed.
be thinking about speed in a fight?
No, not in a fight. Be more specific.
No, this
why
is
wouldn't
in
he
a
be
fight.
thinking
Why
about,
would
why
Naruto?
would
You
he be
just
thinking-
asked me why
Listen,
Naruto would be
Listen, let's go back to your
considering
quote.
speed in a fight.
Let's go back to your quote. He thinks he's gonna hit Pain because he's laying on the ground. Yes, you said that a minute ago.
Not because he's laying on the ground. He thinks he's
Oh
going to
my
hit Pain.
gosh.
Anything beyond that is an assumption.
He thinks he's gonna hit Pain.
Hold up. Let me go up and read some of these things real quick. So as Noodles trying to push for otherwise other than willing to do anything to win. Noodles is Noodles, man. Granted, it may be a plot hole that Konohama managed to sneak up on the Pain since the King of Hell was behind him and had shared vision. True. Noodles would make a politician. Noodles would make a politician, and not for the reason you think. People are just bad at charisma checks. Noodles is at least convincing in his self-assuredness. It doesn't make you second guess yourself if you're stubborn, but it confuses you because you know he's a lying rat. Yeah, and so that's the kind of difference between like argumentation versus rhetoric. He's better at rhetoric than he is at arguing, in my opinion. Fuck, I had a notification on and I didn't get the ding. What's good, John? How you doing? Hey, yo, John, I was trying to look for your channel yesterday, bro. I couldn't find it. I'm glad you're here. Let me click on your Actually, John, put in the chat your channel name, please. I see it should be John the Maven, but like when I click on it, I can't go to it, bro. Let me see. Maybe I can. Yeah, you know. Or just tell me a video you've done so I can search up the video, so I can check that out one day. Or yeah, so I can check that out. Anyway, hi, glad I caught this. Yes, LOL too slow, John. Yo, John. All right. Grid says Sage Mode passively gathers info across thousands of miles at the start of the war arc. Naruto not sensing pain either means he can't or his senses got stupidly outsped. Yes, but I also think it's a concentration thing. When Naruto is usually doing his like wide sensory AoE, he usually has time to actually like sit there, focus, and expound his, not expound. He usually has time to sit there, focus, and expand his range. You know what I mean? Hard to say bye to my girlfriend, but this helps with giving me company. I usually get depressed. Thanks a lot, Ab-Stract. Hey, I got you, Shinigami. Go and eat a snack, then draw pineapple and drink coffee. How are you? Rasenshuriken thrown by Sage Mode Naruto is not slow. Yeah, no, I don't agree with that either. Yeah, I get the same way when I leave my partner for a while. Glad you have folks to chill with, right? Ursa says, John, do you think Noodles is convincing sounding to any degree? As in he's sure of himself to the point that he makes you twist yourself in pretzels. Yeah. And that can happen. Like when a motherfucker is so sure about something they're stating, but it's like illogical, that makes number one, he keeps pushing for it, and he'll bring up like other red herrings, like, oh well, Konohamaru, oh well, maybe he's not throwing it at the same speed. Like he'll bring up a lot of other things, and it's kind of confusing. It's like, hey, hold up, bro, stay on one thing, don't bounce around here. Let's complete this thought and then go to that other thing. It can definitely throw you off. Because, I honestly, just listening to this, I'd need, a soft reset. Like, when he asked that first question, hey, we're starting a new line. I'm like, okay, cool. Let's do this again, and don't be so damn slippery, bro. Like, say what you mean what you say. I do want to say, John, feel free to push back wherever, because Luna may compliment me for being able to analyze intelligent characters, but I criticize myself a lot. I think Swag is jumping out of his skeleton because it's Noodles. Ursa says, exactly. John Maven says, we did an analysis on stream where we reviewed Apollo versus Noodles and found 500 plus mistakes / lies / misinterpretations / misrepresentations that Noodles made in an hour. It's crazy when you break it down. That's wild. Noodles would make a politician. That's fair. Ursa says, John, have you ever played 4D time travel chess? It's like the game. He'll draw you through multiple sub-arguments until he can build a kitchen sink argument to debunk whatever position he confused you. Or to confuse you, I guess. Shane says, he still doesn't have any information on the abilities of the paths. Are you okay, friend?
I'm out of curry.
You're out of curry? Well, we can't buy anything. So sad.
Means no more egg curry, no more curry fried rice. We'll just have to start.
Pretty much. Grid says he's laying on the ground. He can just get up, roll to the side, shot to the right, literally anything, bro. Being right on what? Yes, I'm a number one. Shane says, when you're debating somebody, you've got to be very, very careful in how you word your counterpoints, because people like this will hang on any inconsistency that might slip out your mouth. Yeah, I agree. John Maven says, look, I debated Noodles for 5 hours on whether Jiraiya killed 5 paths of pain. By the end, he was arguing that Kishimoto could have made an art mistake to try to get around my arguments. Kishimoto made an art mistake. That I don't. We can end the conversation right there. If that was recorded, I would have ended it right there. Bam. Kishimoto made an art mistake. Show that to the world. This is who you guys have representing you. That's crazy. John Maven says, tried to shift the burden of proof onto me to prove that literally every panel in the manga wasn't an art mistake rather than substantiate his. Yeah, so like, I can't debate someone like that. I can't talk with someone like that, because that just shows he's not really here. Remember when we talked about reasons for debating, right? Is it ego? Is it pride? Do you just want your character to win? Do you just want your character to be the strongest? Ab-Stract's in it to get common understanding and move the conversation forward. If we're debating on panels and I have to prove the author actually drew this consistently and correctly, there's no reason we need to be having a conversation. You're clearly not ready for the high level talks that would ensue if we're hanging on that piece of information or that piece of argumentation. Noodles might use fan art to prove himself right. I would not be surprised. Thank you. That's nice of you. Look up Misunderstanding Itachi versus Pain. That's my own analysis of this debate. Beautiful. Let's get that in this one real quick. Okay, no, not here. Where is, how do I get to my channel? There we go. It is called Misunderstanding Itachi versus Pain. Beautiful. And is it in quotations? It is in quotations. Or I mean, parentheses. Ah, there we go, my boy. Yes, sir. All right. Oh, yeah, we checking that. Oh, yeah, we checking out the content. I can't wait. Excellent, my man. We going to check that out. Yeah, absolutely. It sucks to say, but in his community, you really have to keep your guard up. Noodles is slippery. Another ad. Oof. Thanks, bro. Appreciate the support. Of course, bro. Of course. All right, let's get back to the conversation.
So he's gonna throw it
because he thinks it's as fast as him, right? I don't know.
That's an assumption. That's an assumption, and you're failing to prove that the like.
No, I'm not failing to prove it at all.
Let's show what's exactly happened here. Let's break it down point by point, right? So you're arguing the Rasenshuriken scales to Naruto. I'm saying it doesn't. I'm saying that there is a possibility he thinks it's gonna work and hit Pain because he's in a disadvantageous position. You're saying it's possible that he thinks.
All right. Let me go back. Let me go back real quick. Let me get a little bit.
Assumption, and you're failing to prove that the like.
No, I'm not failing to prove it at all.
Let's show what's exactly happened here. Let's break it down point by point, right? So you're arguing the Rasenshuriken scales to Naruto. I'm saying it doesn't. I'm saying that there is a possibility he thinks it's gonna work and hit Pain because he's in a disadvantageous position. You're saying it.
That part can be true though. He can be in a disadvantaged position. The Rasenshuriken can also scale to him. Both of those things can be true.
It's possible that he thinks it's going to work because it's as fast as
you're
Pain.
saying it's possible we're both arguing possibilities here.
Oh, I understand.
The argument is about which one is more likely. No, but the argument here is about which one's more likely. I just wanted to catch you on the fact that you just said you're arguing something is true, and I'm only arguing something.
I can say it's possible too. That also just
yeah. I know. No, that's fine. I just wanted to clarify that.
Okay, the reason it defeats your position is because if my possibilities are right and yours are wrong, and I'm not saying mine's more likely or yours more likely, they can be equal for all I care. The problem you're gonna have is you're the one who's scaling the Rasenshuriken to Sage Naruto. So if my possibilities are correct, you would have failed to prove it scales to Sage Naruto, and there's a possibility it doesn't.
So if it all hinges on possibilities and yours must necessarily be correct for mine to be wrong, then prove yours correct. So you got to prove yours correct for mine to be wrong. But swag only has to have like a certain amount of like how do I want to say this? Because getting into these Getting into these logic trains, man. Hold up.
Arguing something.
I can say it's
Arguing about
possible too.
possibilities.
That also just
Yeah.
defeats your position.
I know. No, that's fine. I just wanted to clarify that.
Okay, the reason it defeats your position is because if my possibilities are
Right.
right and yours are wrong, and I'm not
Right.
saying mine's more likely or yours more likely,
Right. So if mine's are right and yours are wrong, and I'm not saying mine is more likely or yours is more likely. So we're still in a state of neutrality with these claims.
they can be equal for all I care.
They can be equal.
The problem you're going to have is you're the one who's scaling the Rasenshuriken to Sage Naruto. So if my possibilities are correct, you would have failed to prove it scales to Sage Naruto, and there's a possibility it doesn't.
Okay. So because there's a possibility that it doesn't, and you've already acknowledged that both are equally up for interpretation, and you're saying that if bless you again.
Thank you.
Yeah. So the whole thing was hinging that he could prove that it doesn't. Basically, for Noodles, that is.
Does that make sense?
Right, but what I'm
Okay.
saying is that what you're arguing is so much less likely than what I'm arguing that I
Prove
think
it.
that we can dismiss it.
Prove it's less likely.
Why is Naruto not considering speed in a fight against the strongest member of the Akatsuki?
I don't
The
think he's-
leader of the Akatsuki, I should say. I
I'm not
won't say
saying he's
strongest
not
member of the
considering
Akatsuki.
speed the entire fight. He definitely does at some points. I just don't think it's provable that he's
So
doing
he's
it
not
right at this moment.
considering. He's not considering speed in a situation where.
Think
speed
about
is
it, bro.
relevant.
Let's
I am
say it's a
thinking
real life.
about it.
Hold
I'm
on.
telling
about
you
to,
to do
I'm
the
about to
same
give you an
thing.
example. I'm about to give you an example. So let's say that me and you were in a fight, like a real fist fight, Swag, and like let's say I'm laying on the ground, like all fucked up and shit, because Naruto just did something, or you just did something to me, and I'm laying on the ground, and you got like a baseball in your hand, right? And I'm laying on the ground, and you just decide I'm gonna throw this baseball at his face, right? You're not really thinking.
I mean, even what Karibo said though, typically we can throw things faster than we can travel ourselves. That's just number one. Number two, we understand the only reason Naruto even ran up to Kakuzu and hit him with it in the first place was because at the time he could not throw it, or wasn't proficient enough to throw it, or would have damaged himself by throwing it, right? Number three, and I'd have to look at the order. I really should have these panels pulled up. Let me do this, bro, because I'm not going to lie, they're kind of making me upset. So I pulled this up in anticipation of this. Let's do this ourselves at this point. Because these guys, oh man. Let's go to 4:30 real quick. When does Naruto get here? Okay, not yet. Yeah, we're going to take a mid-intermission to look at some of these panels and see what's going on. Three panels back, maybe. All right, is this the first one? Okay, I see you've became a sage, acquired the same Jutsu. I too learned Jutsu through Dryer. Okay, shut up. What part of any of this is peaceful? Okay, you cannot see the forest through trees. You're just not able to comprehend the true meaning of peace. Shut up. He threw it? What? Okay, so distance is important. Okay. He throws it. He can hurl such a high rotation velocity, high density chakra. Okay. So we get true confirmation that, of course, all the pains are not the same speed. I don't know why that was even a point of contention. So this one obviously needs help to dodge. It's more important. And this one cannot dodge because it's helping this one dodge. Tendo and what's that? The absorption one, or is that the King of Hell one? I don't really know. But he gets eviscerated. Now, Throws it, they dodge. Cool. Data was right. You do not listen. Cool. What's the next instance we have? That one gets beat up. Hits it with the Sage Rasengan inside the Toad. Even in Sage Mode, I can only manage 2 Rasenshuriken each, which means I can only do 4 more. This is my chance. Okay, they're swapping hands. Naruto summons his clone. He breaks his rod with his hand. Kicks at Nagato. Nagato reacts, is able to block it, but gets sent flying. And he already has another Rasenshuriken. Okay, I mean, roughly the same distance, actually. Roughly the same distance. Now, here's the thing, though, also. If Naruto was a Blitz, because mind you, Pain just got kicked and he's on the ground. Not in the most optimal position, right? So, again, both things can be true. The Rasenshuriken can be faster, but Pain also was in an optimal position to get hit with the attack. Now, question is, why didn't he just run up and hit him with it? Would he have been too slow to do it? I believe so. So far, nothing we've seen from Naruto suggests he can just blitz Pain anytime he wants. If he could just blitz Pain anytime he wants, he would definitely just run up and hit him with it. At least that's what I would be assuming. Let's look at this, right? Where's it happen at? In fact, we can look at this. Pain runs at Naruto by himself with Gamabunta right behind him. Naruto takes out his scroll. Pain has to dodge. Pain has to dodge Gamabunta and use him as a springboard to jump in front of Naruto. So while Naruto is running away full speed, Pain catches up with him. So this would actually, I'm not going to say it would intimate Pain's fast or anything like that, right? But he does catch him. Nonetheless, he catches him. And then they show to be relative in combat speed hand to hand, right? No one can gain advantage over the other as far as combat speed. You have Gamabunta still helping Naruto. I think. Unless he's just like hitting at nothing. I don't know who he's hitting at, but I'm assuming he's trying to help Naruto still. Naruto reverse summons. Kicks him away. And he immediately has a Rasenshuriken ready. Now, if it is the case that he doesn't scale to his Rasenshuriken, meaning he is not as fast as it, he doesn't scale to it, then him running over there wouldn't make any sense. But if his own attack speed is faster than himself, which would also mean that he doesn't scale to it. If his own attack speed or throwing speed is faster than himself, then it absolutely makes 100% sense that he would throw the attack, because it could get there faster than he could get there running with it. Now, we saw Pain and the other Pains dodge this attack, right? Last chapter we saw them dodge this attack. Let's go. Well, no, I don't even got to do that. We saw them dodge the attack. So we know it's not so fast that it's just going to blitz them if they have time to see it and react to it, right? But Pain is in a disadvantaged position. If it was the case that Naruto was as fast as a damn thing, it would have made much more sense to run over there and hit him with it like he did Kakuzu. Though hitting him at this angle likely would have gotten him caught up in the explosion too, but he's in Sage Mode, so he should be able to at least survive the attack. At least be able to survive it, I'm saying, right? But the fact that Pain is down and cannot hurry and scurry fast, quickly get up means Naruto running with it would have been slower than him actually throwing it. And he's surprised that he is up. Not that it's being absorbed. Not that he even... He's surprised that he still survived or is still, kicking from the Frog Kumite thing. So that dispels that whole thing. He even reconfirms it, but I thought we already got him. Okay. So let's look at this. Naruto does the smoke bomb trick with the 2 Rasengan. Another Rasenshuriken comes out of the smoke. This time, none of them need to dodge because we have the absorption guy and we have the Tendo Path. But more so the absorption guy. He absorbs him. He absorbs the Jutsu at least. Naruto turns into a clone. And then another Rasenshuriken. Now, Pain doesn't elect to dodge this because his ability is back. And that gets Resurrection Path hit with a Rasengan. Just in time. And here's something too. We probably could use the 5-second time frame to definitely conclude that the Rasenshuriken is faster than Naruto. But this isn't my debate, and I'm not about to be doing all that. Why do you keep burning yourself, Becca? Alright, let's get back to it. Because these guys, man.
You're not thinking about my speed right there. You're just thinking this baseball is going to clock this motherfucker, right? Is that not
analogous at all? This is not analogous at all because the baseball is like faster than me, first of all.
Well, let's say that you
people throw baseballs at like 100 miles an hour.
I know, but like we talked about it earlier.
Second off. This is not a battle between 2 people who can do what fucking Naruto characters.
I know, they're superhuman, but the fact is we know that jutsu don't always scale to the user's speed. So let's just say in the analogy, to make it analogous, you're faster than you can throw a baseball, but you see that I'm on the ground laying there and the baseball will clock me. That's what you're thinking in your mind.
Right. What I would do is I would still run up to you and shove the baseball.
That's the optimal decision, but what's the proof Naruto is actually making an optimal decision here?
Well, I think that it's not only is it an optimal decision, it is the obviously correct decision. And Naruto has demonstrated that he considers battle speed, but like literally in the last major fight he has before this. Do you think
Kishimoto was thinking that when he was like, yeah, Naruto's really considering his speed right here when he's about to throw the Rasenshuriken? You think Kishimoto was thinking that?
And now he's bringing in author intent into the conversation.
Yeah,
I don't.
Why not?
Why not? Why so? You know, it's the same shit.
Well, why not? I mean,
he's in a disadvantageous position. He's just thinking. It's like, you remember when Kaguya fought Naruto?
Again, both of these things can be true.
Basically, she was like, they were in the gravity dimension. They were being held down by the gravity. And Kaguya points her ashbone rods at Naruto and Sasuke, and she shoots it at them. Naruto and Sasuke dodge, but then they're like laying on the ground in a super disadvantageous position. And Kaguya's about to fire another rod. Like, they barely even dodged the first one.
That's different because
So then the question is, by the same logic, if the rods, which are lighter than Kaguya, can move within the gravity dimension and not be weighed down by them, Kaguya scales above her ash bones. Why couldn't she just fly over there and stab them with the ash bones? Could that not also be argued, since that's what we're saying? Because I get the analogy, right? Both in a compromising position, right? Naruto and Sasuke dodge. They can't move, really. They can't dodge and get out the way. But the ash bones are lighter than Kaguya. They don't have as much chakra as Kaguya. Why didn't Kaguya just go over there and stab them?
to explain.
No. Let me explain why it's different.
I haven't finished. Let me get my closing thought.
I can dismiss the point by telling you why this is different.
But let me finish. You don't know if something I'm saying is going to change your thoughts.
Okay, sure.
Okay, so if he shoots the rods, like this is the reason I'm bringing this up is because they are also similarly in a disadvantageous position. So when she shoots the rods at them, they fall over, barely dodging it, and then Kakashi and Obito are not in that position, so they run in front and take on the other two rods. Obito gets hit, Kamui's the other rod away from Kakashi, and they save Naruto and Sasuke because they were laying on the ground.
Okay, can I just respond now because you made your point?
Yeah,
can I respond
go ahead. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, the reason this is different is because of the increased gravity, which is not a factor here. Another thing that they're
all under gravity though. The gravity is a non-factor in that because the fact is Kaguya, Naruto, and Sasuke were all pinned down by the gravity. So they're all equally disadvantageous.
I don't remember what the fuck was going on with the gravity shit, so I would
Kaguya was held down too. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but I don't remember why Kakashi and Obito weren't, so I want to move on to...
They just resisted it.
See, and then you got to factor in things like that, because that makes zero sense at all. So you're telling me Kaguya can't move in the gravity dimension, but Obito and Kakashi can? I wouldn't even use that as an example, bro. I'm dismissing that. It's totally different. Those factors don't make it as straightforward as it should be. There's no reason that Kaguya shouldn't be able to move in the gravity dimension, much less shoot bones that would be lighter than her, which means the force would be weighing them down harder, or should be. Yeah, unless we're like looking at like a feather versus a bowling ball, maybe something like that. But the thing is this: Kaguya actually has chakra to like enhance her speed to get there instead of like So no.
Because they got Sage's 6 pads power, I guess. They're just OP.
Okay, well then, yeah, they weren't in the same disadvantageous position, right? Because the fact that they were it's like a gravity-induced position, like where Naruto and Sasuke literally can't move. It's
because they're on the ground. They did move.
But I have another point anyway that kind of like sidesteps this one, which is that why wouldn't the Naraka path just be able to run up to Tendo and throw him out of the way?
Why wouldn't the Naraka path be able to run up to Tendo and throw him away?
Yeah, if all the pains are the same speed, why wouldn't the Naraka path be able to do it?
It might just be faster to absorb it.
What?
Yeah, you were arguing earlier he can absorb like an entire battlefield of Amaterasu. Like, do you think that's faster for him to use his lifting strength?
But do you think that Naruto's considering that, or what I'm saying is, as far as Naruto is concerned,
I will tell you this.
No. Let me.
You're asking me a question,
Naruto, let me just establish.
Okay, go ahead.
Parameters of the question. This is as far as Naruto is concerned and what he is considering in his head. Okay, if the Rasenshuriken is significantly slower than him, and he watched one of the paths of pain throw another pain out of the way the last time he threw it, he has every reason now to run up to Tendo and throw, just hit him with it in close combat.
From his perspective, he has every reason to throw it.
Well, no, he wouldn't. If it's significantly slower than himself, and they're roughly the same distance, I mean, like I said, both things can be true as far as pain being on the ground. But in this case, I guess he's saying the Rasenshuriken would be slower. If it's so slow, so much slower than Naruto, it's hard to argue he wouldn't just run up and hit him with it, though.
Because he thinks it's gonna hit.
No, he doesn't.
You said yourself he thinks it's gonna hit.
Real quick, before y'all keep going, are y'all fine moving on from this point and like give or take 5 or so minutes?
Here in just a minute, we can. We're gonna keep going for a little bit, and then we'll end it
forever.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. This has just been about. It's a really important point because if we move on from this and we don't get all our thoughts out, it's going to change the scale, like the whole debate, basically.
Yeah.
So it is important for us to see this through. But I'll try not to stick on it for too much longer. So what I'm going to say to you is, Swag, it is completely impossible to be inside of Naruto's mind at that moment. You agree?
Yeah.
So it is a baseless assumption.
But it's not impossible to gather and understand that the things that Naruto knows up until this point. That's not impossible. We can definitely break down and identify everything that Naruto knows up until this point, and then factor that into future decision making things. That's not impossible.
And
because Swag brings up a good point. Well, I mean, the same point I brought up, right? First off, we've already seen they don't move the same speed because one had to get thrown out the way and one had to sacrifice itself to throw the other one out the way. So that already debunks the same speed thing. But I think I think his point was that when they're all 6 up there the same speed, but even that's just like very stupid.
A baseless assumption. No, because you can use context clues.
Listen, you understand that context clues aren't what matters. It's your interpretation of the work that matters. So you're interpreting as Naruto's thinking about the speed here. I'm interpreting it as
it's not baseless, because even though I'm not in Naruto's head, we have had it demonstrated to us in the past that Naruto thinks about shit like this. And he also just watched one of the Paths of Pain. So okay, I am arguing with you. I got a good example of this. No. Let me frame it this way to make it more clear, because maybe you don't understand what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. If we assume, for the sake of argument, that what you're saying is true, and that the Rasenshuriken is slower than Sage Naruto, okay, you understand, like with that if at the beginning, okay, then Naruto has no reason to. Well, I should say Naruto would be extremely stupid, out of character levels of stupid, to throw this Rasenshuriken if it's slower than he is, after having seen the Paths of Pain all dodge it and one of them throw another out of the way, knowing that Naraka is still standing and could run up to Pain and throw him out of the way too.
So
sure,
we're talking about it would be extremely stupid, right? You know what else was extremely stupid? When Casey and Naruto tried to use a Rasengan on Nagato after seeing that he can absorb Jutsu.
But I think that
he even calls himself an idiot in that moment.
Yeah, but I think that that's different. This is an out of character level of stupid. No, because he hadn't fought Nagato in a really long time.
Dude, your whole line of logic right now. Listen to me. Your whole line of logic right now was it would be insanely stupid for Naruto to see an ability
out of character level. Stupid.
No, it's not out of character. It's literally equivalent, and I'm going to explain why.
It's not equivalent. No.
Listen, I'm about to explain. You can disagree with it after that.
Sure.
The reason it is equivalent is because the whole line of logic that you're using.
Let's try to keep it quick because we're on a time limit right now.
Okay, great. Wait, were you even listening? You haven't taken a single note this entire.
What are we on a time limit for? You got to go to work.
6 at 5 minutes.
Well, no,
6 at 5 minutes.
I was saying, hey, are y'all cool to move on in that time? There's not like you have to move on.
I think that we probably should move on from it.
Not yet. We're gonna see this one through. And then we'll move on. Okay?
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Okay. Yeah. Don't worry. We won't be on this forever. If we have to go all night, I'm down. There ain't no work. There ain't no work that's taking me away from this one. I've waited 3 years.
Right. This is extremely pedantic.
You go to the gym tonight, bro. To be a night.
I know. Well, but yeah, I get it. We're probably
let's get back to the point. Let's speed this up.
Okay.
You want to get off this, right? So the line of logic that you're using is it's an out of character stupid to see that a jutsu that Naruto throws doesn't work on them, and then to use it again and it not work. That exact same scenario is happening when Casey and Naruto is using the Rasengan on Nagato, full well knowing that Nagato can absorb his jutsu.
No.
He even says he's an idiot.
He doesn't full well know. Can I explain why it's different? Because Naruto forgot. He said he forgot, and he says, "Oh right, he can absorb ninjutsu."
So why didn't he forget? So is it not possible he forgot in this situation?
It's completely different because Naruto had to
Is it not possible that he's doing it in this situation?
Let me finish. Okay. You just talk for a minute.
Like, the big difference here, too, is that Naruto isn't acknowledging that his own attack is slower than he is. He's not acknowledging that. He's not saying, oh, my God, I forgot. I'm slower than my own attack. I should have just ran up and hit him with it. That's not going on here either.
It's completely different because Naruto hadn't fought Pain in months at this point in time. Naruto just a couple seconds ago watched the Pains jump over the Rasenshuriken. Yeah, months.
Who said it was months?
Swagkage son.
Even if it's not months, Nagato died. Time has passed. Why would he need to remember specific details about Nagato like that? Specific? Come on.
Into the training and the waterfall of truth and shit. That was a couple months' time.
That could have been a couple days.
That was hold on. Do we have anybody who knows how long that was? Regardless, it's a much longer time frame than a couple seconds. Surely we can agree about that, right? It's been a while.
Dude, the thing is you're saying this, but it doesn't matter. It's like even in the time frame, he still remembers even after he sins. Hold on, real quick.
He remembers after seeing Nagato use the ability.
I'm just saying he still remembers his jutsu even in that fight, and he says, "I'm a lot stronger than when I fought Pain."
Well, okay, that's a different thing. We'll talk about the "I'm a lot stronger than when I fought Pain" thing later. But
he's
let me say this.
Yeah.
Naruto recognizes the Pray to Path's ability here, and did not recognize it in the fight during the war, which means that Naruto has not forgotten as much about pain as he did when he fought Nagato. So it's a different situation.
What about the situation? There's another instance of this even. Like, I'm trying to remember what it is. I'm sure you could probably jog my memory, Swag. It was when KCM2 Naruto was about to use Jutsu on, I think it was Jubito, and he says, I forgot that ninjutsu doesn't work. Something like that. You know what I'm talking about?
See, like, but the problem with that is we're getting Naruto's confirmation that he is doing something. We're getting confirmation from Naruto that he is making a mistake. Naruto did not make a mistake when he chose to throw the Rasenshuriken. That's the thing. Like, if we're going to argue stupidity, Naruto self-adjusts. He self-corrects, right? He'll let us know when he's done something unintentional or by mistake, by accident. Oh, shit, why'd I throw the Rasenshuriken? I forgot. I'm slower than it. Why'd I throw the Rasenshuriken? I forgot. I'm faster than it. I should have just went up and hit him with it. Right? That's what he would be doing in these scenarios. I don't know how Swag let himself get caught in
with
these.
alongside Minato and Tobirama, like.
And I don't mean caught in like he's losing the argument or anything. I mean like caught in this rhetoric, caught in this loop that Naruto must be slower than his own attack, or not scale to his own attack.
I remember. I don't think I remember the fucking context of this, but I mean, every time Naruto makes a mistake like that, it's highlighted, and it doesn't get highlighted here. So the nature of this is just different.
Well, even if it's not highlighted, it still could be happening. And I don't think the highlight matters.
So these are different things because these are Naruto
because Noodles wants to use a consistency-based argument. Well, we even have in Obito, he made a mistake there. Okay, well, cool. So it should have been highlighted here that he made a mistake himself.
Things where Naruto's making decisions based on information. No.
I want to pause.
Okay, but let me finish my sentence.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
These are examples that you're providing of Naruto making bad decisions because he's forgotten about vital information that would change the decisions he's making.
But in the KCM2 fight, it's mid-fight too.
Yeah, but Naruto isn't forgetting how fast they are or whatever here.
I don't think he's even thinking about speed.
He's just choosing to throw an attack that's slower than he is for no reason.
Well, yeah, I mean, he thinks it's going to hit. That's a reason enough.
What's the upside though? What's the positive here? Because I can give you positive. No.
Positive.
No, what makes it more beneficial than running up and hitting him in close combat?
I'm not saying it's the optimal decision.
Explain what Naruto's reasoning would be for it.
Why would he do
it? No, why would he do it instead of using it in close quarters?
Because he thinks
I can give you his thought. I can give you his thought process for both of those examples that you gave and explain why they're different.
Okay.
He uses the Rasengan instead of something else because he doesn't realize that Nagato has the ability to absorb Jutsu, and he uses a ninjutsu against Obito because he doesn't realize that Obito has the ability, has ninjutsu nullification. So in both of those cases, those are optimal in his head. He doesn't have alternate plans of attack or abilities that he can rely on that would be better suited for the situation. Whereas with this, if throwing the Rasenshuriken is slower, there's literally no reason for him to do it rather than just run up and hit Nagato with it.
There are times where Naruto makes the optimal decision. I'm not saying Naruto doesn't fight optimally sometimes. He does. I mean, like you said, there are instances of genius when he does fight, but he also has instances where he fucks up horrendously, using jutsu against people he knows won't work, or just forgetting it. Even mid-fight, he's forgetting it. Hold on. It's not different, because the fact is, if Naruto is forgetting against the most lethal opponent he's ever fought at the time, like Jubito, if he's forgetting mid-fight that regular ninjutsu doesn't work against him, then he can be kind of a dumbass. And I think that could easily be happening here as well. Easily could.
But it's different.
This is Lovable, the AI app builder that turns ideas into reality. From small side projects to enterprise tools, from consumer apps to platforms that scale, built in minutes.
Thanks for coming in to talk about Doug Jr.
Of course. Third grade is when I learned Liberty Mutual could save you hundreds by customizing your car.
It's not.
All right, let me see what's up with y'all real quick. Ursa says, why do I have to prove anything to you when you're the one making the argument for your side? Good point. Noodles is an anarchist, to be honest, says Shinigami. Noodles is not an anarchist. I'm an anarchist. He's just a bozo. Shit. Grid says being pinned down by supergravity is not the same as just falling on the ground. True. True. Kakashi and Obito got their will of fire. Bro, we are done with this point. Ab-Stract, another ad. Hey man, y'all gotta stick with it, man. Y'all gotta push through. All right, I'm gonna check what's up with that though. Is it not possible is an attempt to trick Swag into saying it is possible, which takes the form of a positive claim that Noodles can attack. Is it not possible? So, but we shouldn't feel insecure to say something is possible. We shouldn't feel insecure about that, but it would still be on Swag to argue the higher possibility claim. It would still be on him to prove what he's saying as far as, like, you can introduce it, sure. But if we're still, like, if it has as much uncertainty as my thing, then I don't know why you would introduce it in the first place. You should be wanting to prove your side more likely or prove it more, right? Yeah. But then again, if it's just about introducing doubt, then I would just probably stick to more consistent things, like things being thrown are typically faster than people moving. Even heavy things being thrown are typically faster than people moving.
No.
For example, take a 12-pound shot put, pretty heavy thing. You know, that's going to get further than a sprinter will in the same time that both are moving.
Equivalent would be that Naruto just forgets how fast pain is. But I mean,
I'm assuming
no. But well, actually, no. That's a no. Let me.
I was reading more. I don't know why I stopped. Dude, that's where I use that for anti-feats on Naruto, which is claimed to be the smartest character. That whole fight is so out of character for Naruto, Shinigami says. John Maven says here, Naruto immediately recognizes his mistake and adjusts. Facts. So if Naruto made a mistake with the Rasenshuriken, he'd adjust like he always does. He would also make it known that he's being stupid and that he made a mistake. He didn't make a mistake by throwing it. Shinigami says Noodles legit arguing that Naruto might have made a mistake, but it's not highlighted and he has no proof for it. Exactly. Ursa says, I think it's a combo of Swag believing he has to debate every point his interlocutor makes, and the fact that Noodles is a slippery gish galloper. Why is Naruto versus Pain relevant to Itachi versus Pain? So I think, like, we don't know Noodles' motive yet, but for some reason, because he's harping on this whole speed of the paths is the pain. He's like the whole, if I remember, the overarching argument for this is the speed of the paths of pain. That's what the whole overarching argument is. And he's looking for a specific point to win on, so he could probably use it later. Let's speed up, they said. Exactly. Ursa says they should structure their arguments first, go over both character statistics, then go over how their abilities interact. These guys scale physically close to each other anyway. Discuss movesets. I agree with that. Like, you're not going to find a wide gap between Pain and Itachi. You're not going to find like a huge gap in between them. Structure of the debate is also extremely important, which is why if I ever have like a formal debate, it's going to be formal. We're going to draw exactly what person is going to, what we're going to talk about, have cross-examinations, have a time for free talk and all this other stuff. But I want to get the information out there first. And then I want to see what you bring. And then I want to see whose holds heavier weight. That's what I want to do. Proof Noodles. Self-report. Noodles gets called Pain, the most lethal opponent Naruto has ever fought, which means Pain is stronger than Kakuzu. Ooh. Hey, Ab-Stract, who wins in the debate, Noodles or an insurance company? Definitely Noodles. He's the man for that. I don't know. Naruto later throws himself rather than run at Pain at the end of the fight. There you go.
Just what I just said, because I don't even agree with it anymore. That's not even the equivalent here, because it's not that Naruto forgets how fast Pain is, because that implies there is some upside to throwing the Rasenshuriken if it's slower than him, when there isn't. There is literally no reason why doing so is beneficial, so he might as well just run. No, there is an upside, which is that it's faster to run up and he has more control.
Hold on, I'm not saying there's no upside to the running up and hitting with him. What I'm saying is there was no upside to doing anything else than, well, obviously the Nagato fight. Like, he thought that the Rasengan was going to work on Nagato, and that's why he's in close range. He thinks the Rasengan is like going to be the best attack to smack the shit out of Nagato, and it still fails because he's a dumbass. So it easily
But the
could be the
reason
same
is
thing.
because he's not considering the Preda Path's existence. If he
I
knew
know.
about the Preda Path, he would do something else.
I know.
Because he would have a reason to do something else.
he
Here,
didn't know about
he
the
has
Preda
no.
Path.
But
Okay,
here, assuming that
we
he
can move
is,
on now.
assuming that the Rasenshuriken
say,
is
y'all are-
faster than he. Sorry, assuming that the
Let him
Rasenshuriken
finish.
is slower than he is, he has literally no reason not to just do it in close quarters.
Okay.
Literally no
Yeah,
reason.
so
Do you
y'all-
want to conclude on this
at
point? Like give a general.
Yeah, that's a good idea to conclude because the point's been super long. But at this point, y'all are just repeating yourselves. So
Yeah. We're kind of going back over stuff. Okay, so
Yeah.
I'll conclude and then you conclude if that's cool with you.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, you
so
can conclude.
What I'll say about this point is, Swag was attempting to argue that the Rasenshuriken scaled the Sage Naruto, and that the Ashura path blitzed the Rasenshuriken, therefore can
The
blitz Sage
Preda
Naruto.
Path. The Preda
Preda
Path.
path, my bad, not Ashura.
Yeah, sorry.
The Preda path can blitz the Rasenshuriken, therefore blitzes Sage Naruto. I argue that the Jutsu.
Okay. Let me hear that again.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, you
so
can conclude.
What I'll say about this point is, Swag was attempting to argue that the Rasenshuriken scaled the Sage Naruto, and that the Ashura path blitzed the Rasenshuriken, therefore can
the
blitz Sage
Preda
Naruto.
Path. The Preda
Preda
Path.
path, my bad, not Ashura.
Yeah, sorry.
The Preda path can blitz the Rasenshuriken, therefore blitzes Sage Naruto. I argue that the Jutsu.
Yeah, I think we went over that last screen too. That's terrible. That's terrible. That conclusion itself is terrible. Not the entire argument, or anything like that. Yeah, no, we're not.
Don't inherently scale to the user, just like I gave the truth-seeking orb example of Madara's truth-seeking orb not scaling to himself because he beat up Sage Minato, and base Minato could react to his truth-seeking orbs. So, or he blitzed Sage Minato. So I don't think it necessarily scales, and I put a burden of proof on Swag to prove it does scale. And I argued that he just simply wasn't considering the speed of the other paths, because he didn't even think that. He simply thought that Tendo was in such a disadvantageous position that his Rasenshuriken would surely hit. So if he threw it, so he did throw it. And yeah, that's basically the point. I gave some examples of Naruto forgetting extremely important details mid-combat, and I equivocated them to this situation because he's not fighting optimally here, and he doesn't fight optimally elsewhere. Go ahead, Swag.
Could you use up to $800? Find it at BioLife. Up to $800 is waiting for you. Just donate plasma, get paid for each donation the same day, then treat yourself.
So, my conclusion is that even the point that I've been trying to make, right, is that even considering, and even if I conceded a lot of this stuff to Noodles, right, that jutsu aren't necessarily inherently as fast as the person casting them, like, say, the Fireball Jutsu, for example, that doesn't change the fact that for Naruto to throw the Rasenshuriken, there has to be some kind of tremendous upside here, and Noodles hasn't been able to demonstrate a single reason why doing it is better than run.
I mean, like, I would have initially probably attacked this point with getting every jutsu that I know that we can determine as faster than the user. First, like, the Fireball Jutsu is a good example of that, by the way, too. When we look at Sasuke versus Itachi, and Sasuke shoots his Dragon Head Fireball Jutsus, they go from the hideout to the clouds in seconds. Very fast technique. When we look at Tayuya's Jutsu, Demon Chains of Fantasia, she's literally using sound. I don't believe she's faster than her sound waves can travel. I don't believe that. like, you know, from a certain range, at least, right? Right. What else? Well, in fact, actually, you know what? A point they could have brought up maybe was the Raikage, the third Raikage at least. They probably could have brought that up. Because Naruto throws a Rasenshuriken at him. He activates Lightning Chakra mode and dodges it. Then Naruto concludes that, damn, the Raikage are always super fast. And then he realizes that he needs to be more involved with the Rasenshuriken if it's going to hit, because he can just linearly dodge it. That's not to say the Rasenshuriken's slow, though, either. It's more so saying, I will not hit him with a straightforward attack, which is why he had to get close to him. Oh, thank you so much, love. That's why I had to get close to him. Why are you smiling like that?
Did you drink it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is it boba? Tastes like boba. Strawberry?
It's aloe vera juice.
Ah, it's nice. Thank you. But yeah, it's why you had to get close to him, have him dodge it, and then catch it and hit him with it again. But even then, it's not that Naruto could just run up to him and hit him with it. He's not that fast. But yeah, even that would have been a pretty good point. Let's keep hearing his conclusion.
Up and throwing, like, just fucking punching Pain in the face with it. Because, as I demonstrated earlier with the Databook, when he used it on Kakazu, there was the problem of recoil damage, but the Databook straight up says that after training and mastering Sage Mode, this weakness no longer exists because of Naruto's tough body. Not even because throwing it eliminates it, but just because his body...
You want to go to the gym? What time?
5.
I was thinking 3.
No.
Why not?
I'm literally in the middle of something.
What are you doing?
I'm cooking. Smell the food?
Mm-hmm.
So tough that if he uses it in close quarters, there's no damage that's going to come to Naruto. So I asked Noodles to give me one good reason why using it as a ranged attack would be better or preferable to using it as a melee attack, and Noodles did not get...
If he knows he's slower than the attack. You gotta throw that part in there because that's his whole thing. Why would it be better to run up to him? I'm sorry, no. Why would it be better to throw the attack if it is the case that Naruto is slower than it, as opposed to running up with the Rasenshuriken and hitting him if he knows he is in fact slower than his own attack?
Give me one. So I am going to...
Oh, hold up. We got Valkyria in the chat. How are you? I'm so late. Slept for too long. LOL. Hi, Ab-Stract, and good morning, chat. Good morning to you. Who would win in an argument, Noodles or a woman avoiding accountability? Definitely Noodles. Like, this sucks because we're essentially waiting for hours for them to establish relativity to each other enough to fight. And if that's not true, it would be so evident that we wouldn't be debating. I agree. I don't know if anyone here is a One Piece fan, but I began watching it for the first time. Only one episode so far, but it was sold. Nice. Yeah, no, I think most of us here are fans of the big three in general. I watch One Piece, but like very sparingly. I show up when things are moving. I was there for Kaido. I was there for Big Mom. I was there for Blackbeard versus Law. Garp versus Aokiji. You know, I don't really watch it as a consistent or dedicated viewer, but I tune in. This is what happens when you don't give charity to your interlocutor and they give you no good faith back. I have to fight to earn a claim as simple as 2 + 2 = 4. Yeah, that's just too much energy. I don't have time for that.
To stand by the claim that the Rasenshuriken is as fast as Sage Naruto, or faster than if he's throwing it. Also, he throws it with his hand, so it should scale to him physically.
Yeah. Oh, damn.
And that is the end of conclusion.
Can I respond to the throw thing real quick?
No, because we talked about it before.
I know, but
and you didn't
I don't
say
want to just
anything.
give
No, we
concluded.
concluded.
Of rejoinder. Just let me respond to that little
fine,
point.
fine.
Okay.
Yeah, you can respond to it, and then
the
we gotta move on.
The truth-seeking orbs are also can be just thrown and manipulated and hit, and I still don't think they scale. You know?
Does anybody throw it like with their fucking hand? I don't think so.
Let me think of another one then.
Noodles, I don't know if you remember.
Either way, it's fine. Yeah, we can move on.
The TSOs are more manipulated via like telekinesis or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, so that's the Amaterasu point, I suppose. If you want to move on to a pain ability, that's fine. You want to do that? You want to talk about Baku Tensei?
I guess I'll talk about Shinra Tensei first. So do you agree with the Databook categorization that it just nullifies ninjutsu? So
yeah, it repels ninjutsu, right?
It like straight up destroys them. I can give Six. Do you have the scan first from the Databook and second? Okay, yeah. If you could post the scan, and then I'll also give you an example as well.
Oh shit! I forgot to save it. My bad. Go ahead and get it, Six. I thought I had it. I literally went to my Databook section. It's not there. So go ahead and get it.
I sent it in there. If we need to, we can get the raws, have them translate it.
In this video, I'm going to be making a 3D game in just 1 hour, but all the 3D...
Alright, we shouldn't. Most of these are alright, but... Invisible Hand of God, which repels anything in creation. It couldn't repel Steals Naruto, though. David Path uses this jutsu using repulsive gravitational force generating the user's hands to repel targets. The number of targets of their size do not interfere with the repulsive ability of the jutsu. In addition, by stopping using the other paths and concentrating the chakra only for jutsu, the strength and area of effect can be greatly increased. Talking about the Shinra Tensei, or the chaotic Shinra Tensei.
Yeah.
With an attack of this power, Konoha was completely turned to ashes. However, after jutsu has been activated, there's an interval of 5 seconds.
Wait, what did it say?
Jutsu cannot be used again.
What did it say?
Of the jutsu. In addition, by stopping using the other paths and concentrating the chakra only for jutsu, the strength and area of effect can be greatly increased. Talking about the Shinra Tensei, or the chaotic Shinra Tensei.
Yeah.
With an attack of this power, Konoha was completely turned to ashes. However,
we're gonna stop it right there. Konoha was turned to ashes, and they ask why we shouldn't be using the data books as reliable scaling tools. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. But all right, guys, that's about 2 hours. We're going to end it here for today and pick up later. You beautiful people, take it easy.